Right now, we are experiencing something called the Great Millennial Housing Freeze, where we have two distinct group of millennials that can no longer afford the homes that they anticipated. Let me show you what's going on here. So we've got group number one, the younger millennials, like myself and my wife. We're looking for starter homes that are just like this, a 1,600 square foot house that we can start a family in. And we can build equity in this so that we can take that equity and move on to the next home. But then homes like this are selling for $425,000 when we were anticipating something between $150,000 and $300,000. Because when we entered the workforce, that's what these homes were selling for. This exact home sold for $174,000. And today's money, that should only be about $200,000, $215,000. So that's younger millennials. But then we have the older millennials who are in their mid 40s now. They've had a home for between 10 and 20 years, and they built a lot of equity, and they've saved a lot of money through their years of work. So now they start planning for something much bigger, a 3,700 square foot house that they could raise multiple kids in, or it can even be multi-generational. But then this home goes and sells for $690,000. And the older millennials were planning on spending between $300,000 and $500,000. Because when they started planning for something like this exact home sold for $350,000, meaning that in today's money, it sold for between $400,000 and $450,000. Thus, we have the Great Millennial Housing Freeze. Younger millennials are choosing not to enter the housing market because they simply can't afford it, and they're going to take that money and travel and just have some fun. While older millennials have the cheapest housing that they could possibly have because they bought their house cheap and they have extremely low interest rates. So they're never moving, because if they sold their home, they're going to have to buy a whole bunch more house and have a higher interest rate. So we were sold this dream by older generations who have literally screwed us. What they once did because of policies that they've made in the past 6 to 7 years, we can no longer afford what they did. So we're just saying, screw it. We're just not going to do it. Let me know what your thoughts are and tell me if you've experienced anything like this.
All right, before I even get into the next one, like, subscribe, follow for more content. He's not wrong, but I do believe that it's not a bad thing. And hear me out first. We've been sold this dream that buying a home, the white picket fence, the job you get up, you go to in the morning, the 9 to 5 with the 6-figure income, like, that's it. If you can get 6, that's great. But I don't believe that's it. I don't think that was never the dream. I believe that's the dream that was sold to us, but that wasn't the dream. To be able to travel like he's talking about, some of these younger millennials, Gen Zers, to be able to travel, to be able to have the freedom of flexibility, to be able to have the freedom of time, to be able to build something that goes with you, whether you're in Kenya, Uganda, or the Philippines, it doesn't matter. But it still takes care of your lifestyle. It still funds your lifestyle. That's the American dream. I believe it's just being reset. It's being put in the right position, because owning a home isn't the American dream. I believe the right and the ability to be able to go where you want to, do what you want to, and live the freedoms that's given to you, that's the American dream. If you get a home, that's great, but it doesn't mean that you're not living the American dream if you don't have one. That's just my opinion.
I have $100,000 to put down on a house in Michigan, and my mortgage would still be over $2,000 a month. Even if I'm looking at a $300,000 home. What do you mean I'm putting $100,000 down? And it's at a 5% conventional. Like, what the fuck do you mean $100,000 down on a $300,000 to $350,000 home, and it's still gonna be a $2,000? Like, what the fuck do you mean? That's crazy. And these fucking boomers are like, oh, you fucking lazy millennial. Suck my left sweaty nut.
Oh, not the left one.
Because what do you mean? Because $100,000 could have bought 3 of your fucking houses, Lauren, Karen, Grandma. The fuck?
Hey, first, y'all got to stop attacking these baby boomers for everything. Y'all can't do this. Just because the baby boomers are the ones who own the houses now and they got to let it go for y'all to buy the houses and they're not letting it go, doesn't mean that they did something wrong by you. The reality of it is, the reason you were putting $100,000 down on a house and it's about $300,000 and your bill is still $2,000, you got to do the math. This is great for content, but it's not great for educational purposes. It's great because she's crashing out. Okay, the math is property taxes. That's going to influence why you're paying $2,000. Insurance. I don't know where she lives at. Depending on where you live in the country, your insurance is going to be higher than other places. California, ooh, crazy. Texas, bananas. Florida, ooh, Georgia. Georgia's not as bad, but it's still there. So stop blaming it on them. You're going to still get that rate of 6.25, 6.5, 7, 6, just depending on what your score is. But you're still going to have to deal with those intangibles, which are always going to be growing, no matter how much money you put down on it. It's going to be the property tax. It's going to be the insurance. And I'm going to tell you, the maintenance. Oh, no. Man, I'm telling you, there's a reason why even if you put money down on a house, you still end up having a payment that's pretty substantial because of those factors. We don't know where you're buying at. If you're buying somewhere where it's out rural, you probably aren't going to pay that much in taxes. But if you're close to a city or metropolitan and you're living in a great community or great county, more than likely, yeah, between that and city taxes could be a reason why your bill is so high.
Right now that stated, if you aren't fortunate enough to get a career in high finance, tech, or get an inheritance from your family, or be en route to getting one from your family, you don't have an opportunity to chase or to achieve the American dream anymore. Like, that pipeline is now over, to a sense, right? And it just really...
This is wrong. And this is why I said earlier, if you think owning a home is the American dream, then of course you're going to feel like the pipeline is broken.
Kind of made me sad as somebody who is extremely pro-business, work your tail off, and, hard work and merit will get you far. Even myself, I'm coming to a point where I don't even, this is not even political anymore. This is just a point to where we're going to get to a point where everybody, like the top percent, own everything. And I'm not trying to be a doomer. I'm not trying to, get the pitchforks and say, tax the billionaires and, nobody should be rich. Like, no, I'm not saying that. Like, I myself, work my what off because I want to be affluent. I want to be wealthy. And I'm on the track there. But it's getting to a point where people under 40 years old are not getting help. Right? If you're not a boomer, if you're not 60 years old and up, the tax laws do not work in your favor, right? And if you already haven't amassed,
you're frustrated because you're chasing money, you're chasing a financial positioning. And I truly don't believe in life we're really designed to chase financial positioning. Yeah, we get finances through our job, our education, our business that we build, the creativity, the things that come out of us, but that's not the purpose of life. And if you focus on that as being a purpose of life, of course you're going to be depressed.
Millions of dollars in investments, or you're a big billionaire, multi-millionaire business owner, you don't really have a shot, right? I mean, you used to be able to be a retail worker, retail manager, work at Macy's. I don't know where I was watching this video where some lady was like, yeah, like me and my husband, back in the 80s and 90s were managers at Macy's and JCPenney's, and we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, took vacations, and paid off our home. That is no longer a reality for anybody. Like, if you and your household aren't bringing in, and just in a mid-level, right? Like just like, not talking about like Texas where it's super cheap, or California or New York. Talking about just average day folks. If you guys aren't bringing in $120,000 to $150,000 combined, you don't have a shot. And what I mean by that is you don't have a shot to even retire because you don't even have enough money to save and to invest, right? That's the hard part. Like, you can survive off $90,000, $80,000 as a household. You can live, but you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And that's the hard part. People don't understand that. And it's increasingly sad to see people who have benefited from this, people who are 40 years old and up, very affluent, or were able to grow wealth during a time where merit was, back in a time where if you worked hard, you were able to become something of yourself, don't even align anymore, right? It's getting scary, and I don't know, man. I'm just kind of, there goes Chicago lifestyle. But yeah, man, it's just kind of sad to see, and I hope we don't get to a point where nobody has a chance anymore. Like, that's the part of the American dream where everyone kind of felt like, hey, like if I did a little bit extra, or I got that college degree, or I got that master's degree, I would be able to make something of myself. Like, we're getting to a point where that's going to be obsolete. And everybody also doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. Like not everybody's meant to work 60 hours a week.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur, man, it's sometimes I remember I used to, I would get up 7 to 8. I would get up 5 o'clock, work out, do all those things, and then get in front of the computer. And my wife will come home, and she'll probably come home throughout the day, and she'll see me. I'm in front of the computer. She'll leave out, go do whatever she's gonna do. Come home 5 o'clock. I'm in front of the computer. 7 o'clock in front of the computer. 9 o'clock in front of the computer. 10 o'clock. Some people aren't built for that, and I get that.
Right? 80 hours a week. Nobody wants to do sales. Nobody wants, like, that's okay. And we shouldn't have to force people to do that. I don't know. I know I'm just rambling, but yeah, we're just getting into a very interesting place, and it's kind of sad.
Housing market is fucked up because boomers think that young niggas is stupid. Basically, I gotta pay you, right, 4 times the price for a house that you have stayed in for 4 years because you got new goddamn tiles on the floor. Basically, this is the logic. Nigga, I gotta pay you to marry your wife that you have been fucking for 40 years because you gave this old motherfucker a boob job in the BBL.
Hold on. Yo, I love his energy. Hold on. I got to run this back. Let me do this from the beginning because I love his energy. I love it.
Housing market is fucked up because boomers think that young niggas is stupid. Basically, I gotta pay you, right, 4 times the price for a house that you have stayed in for 4 years because you got new goddamn tiles on the floor. Basically, this is the logic. Nigga, I gotta pay you to marry your wife that you have been fucking for 40 years because you gave this old motherfucker a boob job in the BBL. That's basically the fucking housing market. A boomer bought a motherfucking house for $150,000, and now that nigga talking about I gotta pay him $2 million. Nigga, what the fuck is you gonna do with $2 million? You about to die. You about to die. Like, imagine a nigga telling me, imagine a nigga fucking a girl, fucking a woman for 40 years, and now you done basically slutted her out, and now you want me to pay more than you paid to marry her. Nigga, you paid $10,000 to marry her, but now I gotta pay you $100K to marry her? And all she got now is a BBL and a motherfucking boob job? Come on, man.
Well, let's run this back real quick. Well, first of all, big homie, the reason why you paying that amount is because I've had her for 40 years. If you had her 40 years ago, I would be paying you the amount. Possession and having her for that period of time, I've experienced putting money into her. I've experienced having a good time with her. I've experienced upgrading her. I've experienced all those different things over the last 40 years. Matter of fact, I got a mortgage 40 years ago, and I paid that mortgage off, or I've been paying on that mortgage. It should be done by now if I didn't do any type of HELOCs or lines of credit on it. But yeah, so I think just like a restored car, you know, like a S. I like them SS Chevy Chevilles. Like an SS that came off of the lot, and I didn't add it to her, souped her up, and she's been in my garage sitting down there. You're not gonna pay the same price that I paid when I bought the SS. I got money inside there.
Is realizing that America is a scam and we being ripped off and nobody doing nothing about it. My mama, she turned 53 a few days ago. My stepdaddy, he gonna be 58 in September. They still don't own their own house. Now, they did make some mistakes with their finances in the past, but it's so hard for them now, right? So I get on here and I'm scrolling. I see a girl, she probably like my age. Y'all, this girl done brought her some land. She live in Costa Rica. This girl brought like acres upon acres of land. And it's beautiful. And she said she didn't need no credit check. And she didn't need a lot of money. Okay. I seen another girl. I came on here and I seen another girl. She around my age as well. She's living in Italy. Y'all, this girl bought her a big, beautiful home. It's a fixer-upper. But she owns that home and the land around it. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I'm just thinking to myself, why does America make things so hard? Like, all of this is a ripoff. All of this is a scam. Why is it so hard to own a house? Why is it so hard to get land? Why you gotta go credit check after credit check, and why do you have to save all this money? Why do you have to find the right bank? It's like a whole list full of stuff that you gotta do just to own the house, just to own some land. We being ripped off. We being scammed. And I've been saying that for the longest. Once I get my income flowing, get my income right online, I'm out of here. I'm not living in America. I'm not staying here. I've been saying that for years upon years now. I'm gone. I'm finna go, because this American way of life, of living, y'all can have it. I don't want it, because you got to do all of that just to have a decent life, just to have the basics. You got to do all that stuff. Like, who? We being ripped off. We being scammed. And my parents not perfect. You know, they made mistakes with their finances in the past, but that's not the point. It shouldn't take all of that just to own a house, just to own some land, just to get some property under your name. America makes all this stuff difficult, and it's like you taking a pop quiz. I'm out of here. You can stay if you want to, but I'm out of here. Thank God I have learned a way that I can make honest money online. I started selling digital products online consistently, and I'm going to use that as my income to get the heck out of here. I'm out. I'm gone. You can stay if you want to. Oh, by the way, if you want to start selling digital products online, but you don't know where to start, I got you. Comment me underneath, and I'm going to send you a DM. I just had to put my 2 cents in on that.
Hey, shout out to you. Hey, guys, her information's right there in the video. Go check it out, her digital products. I like the fact that she's doing digital products, because honestly, I believe that, like, that's the future. Like, this is the next step. You're making these digital products and you're sharing this with the world. But I don't believe America's a scam. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something. Check this out. This is so true. Go to Uganda. Go to Kenya. Go to some of these countries that you guys want to run off to. Visit the place and check out the infrastructure. Check out if it's, do they have rolling outages for electricity? Do they have clean water? How do you get your water? How does living there, when it comes to food and weather, compare to living here right now? Because you have some places where the food is great, but I'm going to tell you, when the weather and those tornadoes and certain things hit, the droughts hit, you'll wish you could fly back to America, okay? Because I know, and I'm not telling you something off the top of my head. I was born in West Africa, but I was raised here. Ghana, for example, great, beautiful country. The infrastructure sucks. I just had an aunt that came back from Ghana visiting it. She's a doctor here. She's trying to figure out if she wants to do her practice in Ghana. She gets down there, you got rained out roads. Beautiful country, but the money that's paid by the people isn't building an infrastructure. They're hoping that people like you will come and bring your money, foreign dollars, that will help build their infrastructure.
I had not one, but 2 appraisals come back low. One came in $11,000 below contract price, while the other one came in $20,000. And here's the thing, both of those numbers landed exactly where I told my buyer we should be when we made the offer, both of them. So what does this tell you? It tells you the market is speaking. The problem is sellers just aren't listening. We're still seeing sellers price and negotiate homes like it's 2020. And I get it. Inventory, at least in our area, is still pretty low. That part hasn't changed, but the buyers have changed. The people looking to buy right now, they do want to buy. They're just not desperate. They're cautious. They're doing their homework. They're not going to just throw money at a house and hope it works out. So when a seller sits at a price that the market doesn't support, and a buyer makes an offer based on what the data actually says, the appraisal is going to side with the buyer every time. If you're a seller right now, you just need to understand that the days of pricing high and just waiting for someone to bite are over in most cases and most markets. And if you're a buyer, this is exactly why having someone in your corner who knows how to read the market matters. 2 appraisals, 1 week. Both came back right where I said they should be. The market always tells the truth, even when sellers just don't want to hear it.
I had 3 contracts, actually 4 contracts, that fell out on the same house, to the point that the seller had to take it off the market. It wasn't that the house wasn't great. It wasn't that it even wasn't priced well. It was priced pretty good. The fact is that the buyers just had multiple options. They had a bunch of other options to choose from. And they decided to go to those other options over the house, even though the house was a cool looking house. Now, maybe they felt like they were in a contract that they couldn't negotiate themselves out of, but at the end of the day, they left. This is happening everywhere. And I recently read a report this morning of how the inventory is high. Everybody's jumping in. Sellers are trying to sell what they got. Everybody's trying to sell what they got. That's why the inventory is high. That's why it's stupid high. Now, if you're a buyer and you're trying to buy it, like I keep saying, this is the perfect time to do it. And I love the fact that he's calling that out. Some of these sellers are still in 2020. They still believe they're going to get the highest, most, and best amount of money for their property. They're a lot. They're flawed. And at the same time, I hate to say it, they're deceived. Very deceived. The market has changed, and it's going to continue to change. I say to buyers, stop complaining about what's happening. The ball is going into your court. Get yourself ready, because I believe this cyclical market is going to be around probably for the next 7, 10, 15 years. We're going to be in a deep buyer piece. It's going to push down some prices and put you in position. You ain't going to be able to get things free like 2008 and 9, practically for nothing. But I do believe it's going to adjust itself back for the buyers that are ready, willing, and able to buy. Hey, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I see you guys in the next video. Peace.